Man, what a time to be a Jujutsu Kaisen fan. So much crazy shit is happening right now, whether it be through the manga, which is approaching its final stages, or the topic of this video, the Jujutsu Kaisen anime, which dropped a masterful episode last week, and just as pretty much everyone who's read this arc expected, managed to one-up itself with this following episode. Something I've been excited for since I first read this arc, and Mappa again came in clutch. Action directing was peak, the pacing has been consistent over the last couple episodes and carried over the chaos that took place, and the most important moments in this episode was handled so damn well, and there's almost too many things to focus and hone in on. But the best place to start is of course the start with Ghetto's fight against Toji, which I was pleasantly surprised with. The anime added a lot of original content that wasn't in the manga, which is always a nice touch when done well. And of course the actual fight itself was amazing, and just a gorgeous display of both cursed spirit manipulation from Ghetto's end and just straight overpowering physical prowess from Toji, the invisible demon, who yet again proved that he's just that guy, destroying pretty much everything Ghetto threw at him, from giant sized cursed spirits to even simple domain techniques with basically no effort whatsoever. Ghetto even at one point tried to steal Toji's cursed spirit, but of course failed that as well, and holds the nastiest slashing kick combo, showing the levels there is between these two, which Toji highlights himself, but not only to Ghetto but everyone he packed up, showing how trash they are for being blessed with talent and still getting bodied by a monkey like him who can't even use Jujutsu. The most disrespectful line, and clearly gets etched into Ghetto's brain after this because of how he acts in Jujutsu Kaisen 0. Really good fight that I'm so glad they put a substantial amount of effort into, because it's of course the end of Toji's reign after defeating everyone, and in general it's the most dynamic and action-fested fight in this arc, with it being right before Toji's surprise rematch with Gojo, which is probably the best comeback in recent times. Gojo entering the scene from the dead like a zombie, acting high just like Toji said, is such an iconic moment within this series and one of my favorite things about this battle. But at the same time it's completely understandable because of what Gojo has survived and also awakened into. Through Toji breaking infinity and bringing Gojo face to face with death, he reached a breakthrough and discovered not only the reverse curse technique, one of the most broken abilities in the series, but the core of cursed energy in itself, reaching even greater heights than he was at before, becoming undeniably the strongest sorcerer in modern times at that point, becoming the honored one. The fight was, I'm sure, nothing anybody expected when watching. There was no rage moment or anything we're used to. Gojo couldn't feel an ounce of vengefulness for Riko right then, to the point where he even apologizes for that in his inner monologue as he's dodging Toji's inverted spear of heaven. He was in a state completely opposite to Toji's, pretty much in his own bubble, capable of feeling all the wonders of the world from his mind, body and soul, just as Todo described back in season 1 to Yuji, which is essentially why he was in the air flowing past Toji's attacks. It was no longer him and Ghetto being the strongest at that point, it was just Satoru Gojo at the pinnacle of the Jujutsu world, and this entire moment was so beautiful, leading to the Hollow Purple, the debut of his most famous and strongest attack. The unease from Toji's end to time stopping and Gojo unleashing a move that is a product of his new evolution was so good, and the perfect end to such an epic fight. Toji was most definitely a beast, but Gojo is Gojo, so his defeat was just inevitable, let's be real. But nevertheless, his character, although was only there for a couple episodes, really left such a big impact, especially with the dynamic Gege cultivated between him and Gojo, and the influence he has on later parts of the story makes him such an important character, which will make you appreciate him even more once the next arc drops. Mappa knew the assignment they had with this fight and they delivered nicely. I know the director for this episode is really freaking good, but he snapped like crazy for this. The expressions and soundtrack with Gojo's monologue was such a highlight, and the Hollow Purple was just mind-blowing, to be honest. People be saying this adaptation of JJK is unfair, and it's actually so true. This season has been stellar in pretty much every regard. The only nitpick I have with this fight in particular is the frame of Gojo saying he's the honored one. I feel like they could have done something similar to how it was in the manga with the pose. It would have been just a bit better. But yeah, still a goated fight between Toji and Gojo, and the aftermath we got with Ghetto walking in on him holding Riko is one of the most bleak moments in all of JJK. You just hear the sound of clapping drown the scene and people celebrating the death of an innocent girl, along with Ghetto questioning what the hell happened to his friend. Aside from the big battle, this was something I was looking forward to, because just like the ground crumbling around Ghetto symbolizes, it's the start of his descent into what we know him as in the future. This is going to get more limelight with events that happen in literally the next episode, but this is essentially where Ghetto starts to shift in his worldview. Just last week we reached a new peak for Jujutsu Kaisen, but the series definitely one-upped itself here. A ton of dope action with both fights, but also insane characterization from pretty much everyone in this episode. Toji will go down as an all-timer after this, and although he's packed up right now, his character just continues to get better and better as the story develops. This arc wraps up with the next episode, and soon come we're going to see the famous Shibuya arc, which is widely known to be be one of, if not the best arc in modern shonen, and with this animation quality, this arc really has no ceiling in terms of how good it can be, so look forward to that if you are an anime only. Another masterclass episode from JJK this time around, and the conclusion next week finna be great as well, so look forward to that. Thank you so much if you made it this far into the video. Of course, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and also we hit 1,000 subscribers somehow, some way, so if you are a part of that group, just know I appreciate you. Thank you guys again for watching me talk about Peak, and I'll catch you in my next video. Peace.